Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of The Buzz with Momma T. That's me, Momma T. Today we'll be interviewing Kelli Baker and Keyez Williams. These guys, they're just amazing musicians, and a lot of people ask me why I do this. Why? What's the point? Well, I believe that musicians need their names out there, and we need to get these kids into the music too. And by doing this, I feel like I can get the musicians' stories out and encourage young kids to get into music and just keep the live music alive. Also, we are currently seeking more sponsors. We do have one, and we'll get to that halfway through the show between guests. If you'd like your business advertised or event promoted, you can go ahead and leave a comment, or you can contact me at tnelson469@gmail.com. There's also another great place that you can advertise your business or do a podcast, and we'll get to that. Do we have Kelli yet?
I'm here. I'm actually sharing
There she
it.
is. Hello, beautiful. We got you. I knew. That's why we send the link out a little early, just in case there's a snag or something like that.
Right.
So what have you been up to? Actually, why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Oh, who am I? My name is Kelli Baker, and did it cut out? Can you hear me? Am I on a delay, or can you hear me?
Okay, well, she's cutting.
Let's see. Let me try this. Hold on.
Yeah, I think I did too. That's all right. Oh, technology, you gotta love it, right?
How's that? Is that better?
Oh, we already have a viewer too.
Is that better? Okay.
I think so.
We
already have a viewer. Look at that.
Oh, who's viewing? I don't know. I took it off of
maybe it's
my Wi-Fi, so I thought that might help. I could take my headphones off too. Let's try that too. Now let's try. Check.
Yeah, somebody's volume is too high. Maybe that's what it is, because there's like an echo, and sometimes the platform itself tries to fix the sound, but I think we'll be all right. Right. We've run into little snags before, and you're not cutting out right now. I can't hear you though. Oh, now I can. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Kelli Baker, tell me about yourself.
All right. So I'm based out of New York. I'm a blues rock. What else?
Wow.
I'm a Jedi. I first met you guys a couple years ago, and I did the Women of the Blues Fest, and it got a lot of what else? I'm a Jedi. I first met you guys a couple years ago, and I did the Women of the Blues Fest, and it got a lot of
Yeah, there is. We are having some sound problems. I don't know.
You know what? Let me try.
I mean,
I could leave and come back to the computer.
always try. Are you using Wi-Fi or your phone's
I tried both, so
data?
I can leave and try it from my computer.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave and come back.
Oh, two viewers.
I can leave and come back to the computer.
All right, we can run the ad I was going to run anyways. Why don't we try that? Let's see. Okay. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Grand Forks Best Source. They're a cutting-edge local media broadcasting studio with captivating shows, on-location event coverage, and unparalleled advertising opportunities. Grand Forks Best Source has become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for studio or platform, or a local business seeking to advertise, go ahead and email Paul at local@grandfork or gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website that's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Momma T sent you. So, technical difficulties. Isn't it wonderful? It happens. I can see you and hear you just fine. I think my computer was having issues too, so I switched to my phone.
Okay.
My phone is usually a little better, but I can't see the viewer comments on my phone. And then I can't follow the conversation and like where it's live. I can try to pull the live feed up on my computer.
I can look at the comments maybe. Oh, Megan Springer says, "Hi, Tanya."
Hi, Megan. Oh, you can see them. Yay. Okay.
So between the two of us, we can do this, right?
Right? I think so. I think we got it figured out now. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right. I'm going to slide this over, and I think I can. Okay. We've got two. Oh. Let's get Bobby on the sound problem. Yeah. Yeah. Dave Olson says, let's get Bobby on the sound problem. Yeah, I wish. Robin says, isn't she the one I drove him to play with? I can't remember. Yeah, it's working good now. Thanks, Dave.
Good.
All right. So I've got a little cheat sheet here. I don't know if you remember, but you were featured in issue 8 of the Little Bobby Buzz.
I do remember.
And it says here, you grew up in Phoenix?
That's right.
And your parents, what did your parents do? Did you have a big family?
No, I was an only child, actually. And I actually just got back from my mom's house 10 minutes ago. I moved her out here a couple of years ago here to New York. My mom she did hair, and my dad was a construction worker. Yeah.
An only child.
An only child.
Oh, and you, who did you want to emulate when you were growing up?
Somebody asked me the other day, a Madonna is the answer. As soon as I saw Madonna, I was like, that's probably what I want to do.
Yeah.
Sold. Yeah. Sold.
What was the first song you sang, and where did you sing?
Borderline. I did it what was it? So I was 6, and at the state fair they had, because I really grew up in the church choir. Like, you want to be like, oh yeah, but really it was Madonna. And at the state fair they had a booth. It was a karaoke booth, and I sang Like a Prayer. I think I was like 6 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least you weren't singing like a virgin. So
yeah, that's true.
That might have been a little inappropriate.
Somewhere there's a tape of it somewhere. I think my mom has it somewhere, but
yeah.
Oh,
I'd love to see that. So your main instrument is your voice.
That's right.
And you taught yourself how to play guitar as well?
I mostly did. When things got a little more serious, I just started to take lessons, and that was really kind of around, things have always been serious, but if I wanted to really support myself and do things the right way, around 2020 is when I started buckling in with lessons.
Okay.
But yeah, I played in bands and sang in bands and played in a folk duo, but it was really limiting because I had to rely on somebody else. So I taught myself guitar just so I could write and, support myself.
Right. What made you, besides seeing Madonna, that got the bug going, how hard was it to get into music? Well, did your parents support you?
They would have always supported me in anything I wanted to do. But I took, I had a daughter when I was young, and that just went to the forefront. I did the music thing, but you know how things go. I couldn't do that to the level of which I would have wanted to. So when she turned 18, I picked it back up again and just threw my whole self into it. And was it difficult? No, because I enjoyed it so much. And I would work a job that was 70 to 80 hours a week, and I would go to jams every night, and I just loved it. So that part wasn't difficult. Learning the music business itself was challenging, but still, like, I don't want to do anything else. That's what I want to do. So it was very easy to align with and do.
It just came naturally. It just, you knew that that's what it was.
Right.
Yeah. So who did you listen to when you were growing up?
All kinds. As a kid, it was like the pop stuff. My mom liked Bonnie Raitt and Annie Lennox and, the yacht rock stuff. My dad got me into the blues, and my dad got me into the Beatles and the Stones. And then I got into rock myself. I loved the grunge stuff, everything. I'm a rock girl at heart before I think I'm anything else.
Well, I know you to be blues, but I can see you doing some rock. Yeah, definitely. You just got that. You got that voice. I mean, you could probably do any genre if you wanted to.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm fangirling a little here. Forgot how cool you are. I miss you, man.
I know, it's been forever.
It has. Huh. So, what was your favorite gig you ever did?
God, that's such a great question. You know what? Here's one that turned out to be, it could have been disastrous. And in a way it was, but then I think it turned out the way that it was supposed to. So last year, this is a story that takes maybe like 2 minutes to tell. My bass player that I was working with at the time, I'll give a tiny backstory. His name is Matt Hoyer. He took this, we were in Prescott, Arizona. And as we were leaving, they had a band house and there was something in the closet. It was a shirt in the closet. And he said, "Does this belong to anybody?" And we said, "No." And he mentioned he was thinking about taking the shirt. We said, "Don't take it." Well, he shows up at this blues festival in Kansas a couple months later. And he's like, he's wearing the shirt. And he's like, "I'm pretty sure this shirt belongs to a dead guy, but that's okay. Cause he's made peace with me and I've been talking to him." So we're listening. We're like, okay, sure. And we're supposed to headline the Paxico Blues Festival. So now we're in Paxico Kansas, and it's 5,000 people, the biggest crowd I've ever played in front of, headliner. And just as we're about to go on, clouds start moving in, right? And they had to call the festival. And just as we were about to headline, and I looked at Matt and I was like, "It's the shirt!" And I take off the shirt. I said, "I'm not saying that I'm blaming you, but I'm pretty sure that I'm blaming you for this shirt."
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
Then we're all watching everybody. I mean, at the moment, it was just because we had so much excitement leading up to it, and watching everybody just pack up and leave because it was an outdoor thing was just awful. But then what happened was they had like an area next door. At Paxico is a very small town, and it's almost like the old timey stores and stuff. And in one of those places, they were going to have an after party with all of the people that threw together the festival and their families and whoever wanted to stay. And so that's where we performed instead. And it ended up just being really, really special. Like, we didn't end up playing in front of the 5,000 people. We played in front of 60 people, but it was still, I just felt like that's the way it was supposed to work out. And so that's probably one of my favorite shows. It just felt so good. And the moment was just so good. It didn't matter that we got rained out. and everybody bought a shit ton of a lot of merch.
Yes, this is a clean show. We don't swear on this one. The swearing show is tomorrow night.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm on 2 different podcasts now. So I'm on this one. This is my one-on-one, get to know these musicians, get their names out of here, get the kids into the music. So I keep it clean. I don't drink on this one. I normally don't smoke on it either, but I'm going to anyway.
But here we are now.
We don't tell dirty jokes here. We don't, so we can keep our clean rating.
That's right.
Tomorrow night, on every Monday at 5, I'm on I co-host a podcast called Renegade Radio. And it's me and a bunch of boys. Is pretty much what it is. And we sit, well, a couple of them don't drink, but yeah, me and the guy that he's I don't know if he's owner or just like one of the main hosts. He's one of the team members on Grand Forks Best Source, which was the commercial I was doing when I waited for you to come back. So his name is John Roberts, and so we'll sit there and we'll drink during the show and smoking cigarettes or vapes or whatever, But that's the fun show. That's the unclean show. That's not to say my show isn't fun. It's more of a party on the Monday nights.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, like, how many? Okay, you've got your own original material, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to do your first album?
So I've always kind of done little collections, and I've been releasing single by single instead of a full album, which I'm actually getting ready to do a full album. This new guitar player that I'm working with, he and I have got into such a good rhythm musically together. So we have a writing session tomorrow. So that full length album, is coming. A lot of the stuff I've just done has been EPs and singles, and I have a lot of stuff out there, but not a full album. I'm looking to have that done by the fall. Yeah.
What is your writing process? Like this is one of my favorite questions to ask, because everybody's got a different process, a different style, a different approach. How do you come up with your songs?
It depends on what I want to do with it and what kind of song I want to write. A lot of times, I'll write poetry and prose, and if I have a lot of emotion just going on, and I'll just free write that. And then, I might not do anything with it for a year. But when I'm feeling a sound, I'll throw something, or even in my voice recorder, I end up doing that a lot because it comes a lot to me when I'm driving. I'll throw either words in there, and then I'll go back and I'll write it down, or I'll hum a melody, and then I might go back and, pick through those words, or sometimes it just spews out of me. Those
are the best songs.
Yeah, I think so.
I love those. I love those because, watching an artist at work is just especially like little Bobby, like he just come up with stuff right on the spot. Oh, hey, I should record this, and disappears off into the studio. Oh, I've got a backing track that would go perfect with that I haven't used on anything. And seeing this blind guy on this studio computer piecing together all this stuff. And it's just amazing to me how different each song comes out.
Yeah.
And I always thought that the ones that he just came up with on the spot, and that they flowed out, you knew exactly what it was going to be. Like, you already heard the whole thing in your head, and you're almost like a dream or something.
Yeah.
That just blows me away. I like to write a little myself. I haven't recorded anything. I never got a chance to because somebody disappeared on me, but
You should.
I'm thinking about it. There's this band Obsidian we went to see last night, me and some friends of mine, and I got to go up on stage, and so you know which song I sing, right? Proud Mary.
Ah, nice.
Oh yeah, so I had fun doing that, and I got out there and I realized that I was like, I didn't know where we were going.
Yeah.
And when we got out there, I'm like, God, this place looks really familiar. And I couldn't figure it out. And finally, I realized that that was the first place I'd ever been on stage. My mom had just passed away, and Bobby was trying to get me and my daughter out of the house and said, drive me to this gig. I'm playing for this private party. It was the Bad Campers he was playing with. So pretty soon I had a couple beers in me, and he's like, you want to sing? Come up here and sing. I'm like, what? What? And it took me a while to be able to sing in front of people, especially sober. What kind of advice would you give somebody trying to get into the music business?
If you're trying to break through as an artist, one of the biggest things I say is that you just have to get in front of people. And I played in my living room for a decade, and that didn't do anything for me. Yeah, I would make YouTube videos, and it didn't do anything to propel my growth. What really did was going to get the crap kicked out of me by other artists and challenging and seeing what they do. So one of the best ways to do that is to find open mics and jams around you and meet other musicians. And there's all kinds of people there at, all kinds of levels. You have really good people there. You have people just starting out, but falling into those kind of situations, I think, is the first big step to taking the next step, is just to get comfortable playing with other musicians and playing in front of people instead of just for yourself.
Well, speaking of which, tell me about the different places that you've played.
Oh my gosh, I've been really lucky. I mean,
like we opened for and stuff.
I just opened for Allie Venable a couple weeks ago, which is cool, here in Huntington. And we've got some other stuff on the horizon. I just signed with a great management team, which is exciting. And we're getting ready to kick off a 3-week tour in the Midwest. So I'll be back to that Paxico Blues Festival in September 21st. We'll be there. Because the guy at the time said, he's like, Kelly's going to be back. She got rained out, like she's going to be on next week's lineup or next year's lineup. So we're there. We've got Kansas City. We're going down to right outside of Nashville, in a town called Franklin, the Mockingbird Theater. House of Blues Chicago, we're doing again. So many great places. I'm so fortunate. Playing Las Vegas. I love playing the Southwest, where I'm from. And we just sold one of the cars and bought a tour van. It's the ugliest thing you've ever seen. It looks like you're picking up, 20 kids going to church camp.
The church camp that's falling apart because they don't have a donation.
Yeah.
But
it's great. I spent so much money, on van rentals, and you've got to get to it because every level, it's just all of a sudden you're in your truck, and then all of a sudden you need more equipment, and then you're driving and you need to be carrying a drum kit and all this stuff. And, you just keep needing more and more. So it's the thing that makes the most sense. So now we've got the van and we're decking it out and making it cool. And
okay, we do have viewers. Dave Olson, a good friend of mine and Bobby's, says, 2 pretty girls, I tell you. Yeah. So he also says, it was my pleasure to hang your star on little Bobby's Walk of Fame. His son Josh also took a lot of pride doing the installation in the stars. So you've seen the pictures of this, right?
Yes, I have. So cool. That was really so cool and thoughtful.
Yeah, that was Bobby.
When I came through after I played for you guys, and then I came through on tour, I did 5 weeks, and some of it was by myself. And then I called Bobby because I needed a pickup band in Minnesota, and then he just drove down. It was like a 5-hour drive, and just showed up with his guitar, not in a case, just in the back. He's like, let's go.
Yes, that is the one. That is the one, because I've got a viewer comment that's from Robin. Robin Goodwin says, "Isn't she the one I drove him to play with?"
Yes.
Okay, so now I know that story. I don't even remember. When was that?
That was, I think, the late September of last year. And it was just, that was the last time I saw him.
Yep.
And he just said, I never thought I'd see you again. It was so nice that he came down and did it. But I just couldn't believe he just, threw the guitar in the backseat of the car, no case or anything, and just drives down 5 hours. And I said, well, what do you want to get paid? And he just said, just give me gas money.
Yep, he wasn't about the money. He was about the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of good videos of that night too. Yeah.
You're going to have to send some of those. We're going to try to do a compilation video. A compilation video of like different places he's played and stuff like that. We're also going to try and get into his studio computer and find some stuff he was working on and put out one last album. And
you should, even if you had stuff he's doing on and maybe like his friends record some of his tunes, that could be cool too.
Yeah, like covers. That would be cool. Definitely. Let's see. I'm trying to look. Oh, awards, ma'am. You have won some awards.
Yeah. Yes, I have. Well, see here. I did the IBC, so I got through to that. And actually, because of you guys, I charted really well on the Roots Music Report. I got a lot of that. I got best video for my song, The Living. I can't remember the certificates over there, who that's from.
Long Island Blues Challenge, Road to Memphis 2022. Official selection in the National Women in Blues Showcase 2023. You've been compared to Bonnie Raitt, Chris Cornell, Susan Tedeschi, and Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Man, I wish you could sing for us. I'm bummed. I'm bummed. Did you want to talk about that at all or no?
Oh, sure. Because I'm here for the ladies. Actually, I don't really share a lot of personal stuff, but I just had surgery on Wednesday, and it's just I had to get a bunch of fibroids removed. So it's just something, but the women you got to do for your health. So if it wasn't something so female forward, I don't know if I'd mention it, but it's like, ladies, you got to do what you got to do to take care of yourself, right? So absolutely. I had to say, get out. So I'm still recovering a little bit. Hopefully, I'm supposed to take, a couple weeks off. I'm taking another 4 or 5 days and then back at it again.
So what's on your playlist now? If you're getting in your car and you're playing your playlist, who are you listening to?
That's really funny because I'm always listening to different things. I'm always picking up songs that I hear and songs from social media. Today I was listening to Tyler Childers, I think. And then I was listening to Chappell Roan, I'm doing all kinds of stuff. And Bessie Smith, I've been listening to a lot. We actually played a festival right outside of Asheville, North Carolina in July called Black Mountain Blues. And that's where Bessie Smith wrote the song Black Mountain Blues. So I was digging on that. That's kind of what I've been listening to, and some mashups.
I like, obviously I listen to a lot of Little Bobby. I've been really getting into Jelly Roll lately.
Oh yeah.
This one that just came out just at the right time too. I Am Not Okay. Yeah. Have you heard that one?
I haven't.
You're gonna have to look that one up. It's a really good tune. I think I'm gonna learn it and sing it karaoke. I do Save Me karaoke once in a while. That one's fun to do. What else? I've got such a terrible memory. Like I'll probably ask you the same question twice in the same kind of thing, Where can people find your music?
Everywhere. So there's my recorded stuff, which I actually have a live album that I'm getting ready to release. And I have a couple of those tracks up on my Patreon because I haven't actually physically released those yet, but I'm kind of teasing those out. So Spotify, Apple Music, a lot of even full live shows are up on YouTube because I'm working with a few different players these days, especially Noe Soha, who's pretty well known as Simple Blues Boy. He's been my primary guitar player, and we've been doing some really cool stuff, some really cool sounds. So I would go to YouTube for that, even Instagram. Cool clips of that. And then he'll be on the live album, and then we'll be writing an album together very shortly that should be coming out.
I can't wait. Do you have a website or a merch site or anything?
Yeah, kellibaker.com. Ah, there it is.
Look at that. He's good, isn't he?
Yeah.
And you know what I love? You know, one of my favorite things is the newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I've got a weakness for newsletters. I don't know. I could be. But they can, the littleBobbyBuzz.com. Yes. You can go check out my newsletter at littleBobbyBuzz.com. But you've got your own that you email out.
Yes.
They can subscribe to that at kellibaker.com.
Yeah, under the contact page, there's a link to that. It's funny because I'll throw a bunch of funny photos out from the prior weeks, of shows and whatever things were funny. Like when we were in Nebraska, so Noe, the guitar player, is blind. We made him go on the mechanical bull. Talk about that the other day. Just stuff like that, we're running around doing silly stuff. So that goes on there. And then, just highlights of the week and stuff. I try and make it kind of funny and cool.
Well, we've got viewers. Do any viewers have any questions or comments for you? Just because my second guest hasn't checked in yet. So we can just keep on talking forever if you want.
I'm pulling up the thing now. Oh, Paxo Blues Festival mentioned you in a post. Let's see here. That's where I'm playing on the 24th or 21st. There it is. Wait, that's blurry. But anyway, if you go there, it's there. I don't even know how I turned this blur filter on. It was when I went from my computer to the phone. Okay, yeah. Let's look at the comments. Let's see.
Oh, dead air.
Oh.
Let's see. You have been featured in Relics magazine,
That's
Guitar
right.
Girl magazine, on WFUV's coveted New York Slice.
Yep.
Rolling with hosted by Rob Rush of 94.3 The Shark. Launch Music Conference and Festival, Montauk Music Festival, Brooklyn Vegan, Broadway World, NYC.com, Better Lemons, Voyage Phoenix, Faces of Long Island, Fresh Brewed Sessions, the Tedeschi Trucks podcast. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Like you are quite a popular girl.
Thanks.
I feel just so honored that you're here. What do you think people would be surprised to know about you?
Gosh, I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know.
I bet you they would be surprised to know your age. I don't even know it. You don't.
I don't know anybody. I just say the only people that know are my doctor and my mother.
I think your daughter does too.
Yeah, she knows. That's it. Yeah, I keep, I know.
You gotta keep some secrets.
That's right. Yeah.
What's your favorite comfort food?
Mexican food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that any day of the week. Like good Mexican food. Being from Arizona, it's not the same out here in New York. You can get so much good food out here, but it's really hard to find good Mexican food. So every time I'm back in the Southwest, and it's always someplace like on the side of the road where it's, $10 or something like that, not too expensive, and that's where the good food is.
Oh yeah, that's homemade stuff. It's not the frozen stuff, the prepackaged stuff that's thrown together. Yeah, it's real, authentic. Yes, that sounds delicious. Actually, I'm starting to get hungry. So tell me another story. You've got plenty of road stories.
Oh yeah. Oh God. Okay, so now I'll continue the story about the Paxica Blues Fest. So our bass player Matt at the time, He's wearing this shirt. And for 6 months, he's wearing this shirt to shows and saying, you know, I've been talking to this dead guy that gave me a shirt and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm communicating with this spirit. And we're all of us are thinking, I mean, okay, you know, whatever. We get past the festival. He keeps wearing it. And then this past summer, I was with, he was not playing with us at the time, but I went to the same venue. And above that same venue, it's the same band house. And they were having water issues. And I talked to the bartender, and I knew what size the shirt was. And we were talking about the water pressure issue. And he said, yeah, I know. It really sucks because I was up there and I was living up there for a couple of months. And I looked at him and I looked at the size of it and then this shirt in my head. And I said, are you missing a red shirt? And I showed him a picture of the bass player wearing the shirt. It was the guy's shirt. I said, Matt, who have you been talking to?
Yeah, this dude is alive and well. Like,
yeah, I was like, which dead guy are you talking to?
Oh my God.
So I took a picture of the guy looking upset and we sent it to Matt, you know? It was so funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did he respond?
Oh, everybody just laughed about it. I think Matt still has his shirt. I don't think he ever sent it back or anything like that, but it's just so funny because he kept bringing it up and he was like, oh, yeah, you know, talking to this dead guy. I think he's at peace with it, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, it's this bartender in Prescott, Arizona, you know?
Oh. Well, you finished that story. You got another one?
Oh, gosh.
What was your favorite venue to play? One that you just keep on going back to and back to.
I like all of them so much for so many different reasons. I like playing the Rhythm Room in Phoenix a lot because that's where I'm from, and a lot of my friends will come out there and it's like a big party with fans, but mostly friends and family. And I liked Hotel Congress. That was down in Tucson, and that beautiful big stage, and the hotel itself was built in 1919, and that's where John Dillinger got arrested. And even the phones beneath the front, behind the front desk, it's an old time switchboard, and that's how you call from your rooms and everything. So just super cool. I really like that. I mean, there's not many venues that I've played I haven't liked, and I especially like just going and meeting different people all over the country. And learning everybody's stories and interacting with their lives. That's probably my favorite thing. I don't even mind, I don't mind driving in a van for 7 hours a day. I really don't. PJ, my bass player, is my fiance, and he will just drive and I will link up my laptop to the hotspot and I'll work and we just chill. We played North Carolina a couple weekends ago, and we just stopped over for Mexican food. Same thing in Virginia, 2 of us, because everybody got back different ways. And it's nice to be able to have that kind of life. And I don't take it for granted one bit, even if it's just stopping at different gas stations. We all know the cool gas stations. We know which gas stations suck. We made a song about which gas stations are cool and which ones suck.
Like Bobby had that Fast Food Mama song. Have you heard that one?
I don't know if I have.
Oh my gosh. She's a fast woman, quick as Mickey D's drive through.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's trying to play it there in the background.
He
intros the show with little Bobby music.
Yeah.
She's quick as Mickey D's drive through, and she will make a supersized fool out of you. Call her KFC if she's finger licking good. I mean, it's a hilarious song. I was in the studio with them and we were coming up with the lyrics for that one. I think he left up almost all of mine out, but it was still fun. Still good. I mean, he was the writer, not me.
Yeah.
It's his song. So, who was your favorite musician to play with or open for? Or if you've got a better, who was the biggest jerkwad that you've ever met on the road?
I'll be careful with what I say there. I haven't met too many jerks on the road, I have to say. Even if you do, it's just kind of funny, so I take that with a grain of salt. I really enjoy everybody I play with, and some of the musicians I'm playing with right now, PJ and Noe and Tom, and we have this kid Adam Wooten that plays with us. Adam is Victor Wooten's son, who's a great bass player that many people know. We've been so many in New York City. There's just all these different amazing musicians, and all over. But it's just crazy how many different people will come in and sit in with each other, and we all love each other and support each other. It would hard to say who my favorite one is. I just love the chance that I get to do it all the time. And, when we're not playing, most of the time we're going out and supporting our friends that are doing the same thing. So.
Right. Well, I'm thinking we only have one interview. I could talk about this guy, I guess. I did an interview with him for the newsletter in issue 20. Have you heard of Keyez Williams before?
It sounds familiar to me.
So the story says, he played keyboard with Bobby Allen Kirk and George Moyer and Casey Friends on sax. It was August 11th, 2023. He played here. He grew up in Minneapolis, and when he was 14, he moved to Duluth and graduated from there. Came from a super religious family made up of Indigenous and German on his maternal side and African American on his paternal side. He came up in an era where video games were played at an arcade, and kids played basketball, rode BMX bikes and skateboards, played tag, and went swimming all summer. And from as early as he could remember, music was what he was into. He started off playing drums and being forced to sing in choirs as a kid. And then in school, he'd eventually select the musical electives and even did some theater for a few years. He knew he was going to do something unique with music at around age 16 or 17. He'd been playing drums for 40-something years and keyboards, piano for 30-something years. The hardest lesson he's had to learn as an artist is that everyone isn't supposed to be your fan. You just need to enjoy what your craft is. That's what is transcending. The musicians that inspired him the most were Herbie Hancock, Tony Royster Jr., Thaddeus Tribbett, Corey Henry, and Thelonious Monk. And when I asked him what his favorite gig was, he said, I played with this band called the Mix Band. And we had Killer Summers in Otter Tail and White Earth. We had a residency there at the casinos about 5 or 6 years. And he's currently in a band called the Right Vibe Tribe, spelled all with Y's. Necology, that's where he was. Yeah, it says Necology is coming January 24th. You can look him up. Necology, it's Nekcology, and you can look that up and listen to him. He was also in a really good hip-hop group called Water Power back in Washington. So that's what I was going to ask you too. What was the hardest lesson that you've had to learn as an artist?
I don't know. That's a loaded question. The hardest lesson that I've had to learn. I can tell you things that I try to keep myself in alignment with is that I always there's the imposter syndrome thing, which I've always been faulty with. Now I don't have that as much anymore, but I know where my strengths and my weaknesses are, and I align myself with people who are incredible musicians, and I'm grateful for. One of the hardest lessons I've had to learn. I'll tell you an uncomfortable moment that had me stopped. I stopped playing for like 10 years. So I went to an open mic. This was back when I lived in Phoenix. And this is when I just started to teach myself the guitar. And I wrote a song, and this guy, Scotty from the Gin Blossoms, remember the Gin Blossoms?
Yes.
Ran an open mic at this place called the Yucca Tap Room. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have to go to this. And I had no idea. I'd never been to an open mic before. And I didn't know that you signed up and you would be waiting for 3 hours or something like that. And, this wasn't yesterday, so I got drunk, and so I'm sitting there. waiting to be called up because I'm so nervous. And I was terrible at the guitar. I was not good. And then by the time I got up there, I couldn't even play because I was so nervous and I was too tipsy. And Scotty came up and took my guitar and just played the song for me, having never heard it. And I was so mortified. I swore I would never do an open mic again. And I didn't perform out for probably 10 years.
Wow.
And probably one of the hardest lessons, I don't know how you could frame it, but it's just, there's always going to be moments when you suck or something goes wrong, you know, or something is just catastrophic and you become so embarrassed. You know, there was a moment I won't say too much about, but you can't know everything, you know, and you just can't know everything. And especially when you're green and learning these things. And for me, you know, I kind of got thrown into from taking so much time off. And then it was only a couple years ago when I quit my job and said, I'm going to do this full time. And I did very well, I have to say, probably right off the bat, and threw myself into some big situations. But with that comes you don't have the knowledge about how everything's kind of run. And I made some mistakes that way that upset some people. And
stepped on some toes, maybe?
You know, I hate to say it out loud, but I screwed up at a festival, you know, and it was a timing issue and it wasn't intentional. And I thought I was with my boundaries and I wasn't. And I really upset another artist by mistake. And it was just because I was so green and I thought I was in my limits and I wasn't. They were upset and I apologized. And, you know, it was just one of those things that to this day I think about. I'm like, God, I wish I would have done that differently. But you can't beat yourself up about these things. You just have to keep going.
Yeah. And you got to learn from it.
Yeah. And then just better. And, you know, yeah, I don't know.
Nobody's perfect. But what makes us wise is to learn from our mistakes so that we don't do it again.
Yeah.
Being embarrassed because you screwed up is one thing, you know, but then when it ends up hurting somebody else, you know, then that kind of sticks with you for a while. I mean,
forever. For me, I'll wake up and be like, what did I say in 1998 to this person that was, you know what I mean? My God, like it will just eat me alive, you know, and I have to, one of the hardest things, I guess, lessons I've learned is that I just have to give myself grace. You know,
yeah.
I would love, I mean, nobody's perfect, but I'm my own worst enemy and I have to be kind to myself because if I stopped every time that I wanted to, or every time I really screwed up, I just wouldn't keep going. And now at this point, there's nothing else I'm going to do. So if I get embarrassed or I screw up or people hate me or something like that, then it's just whatever, you know.
Who could hate you? Oh my God.
A couple people.
Well, you know, at least it's not everyone, right?
Huh?
At least it's not everyone.
I hope everyone does it. Who knows? You know, I just like.
Sometimes it's just jealousy, you know? I mean, there's people out there that just get offended easily or take things the wrong way and always hold it against you. You know, I feel like people like that just can't forgive themselves for things, so they don't forgive others so easy, you know.
Everybody is so complicated and complex, and so many things that we take on as our own issues or people's issue with us has nothing to do with us.
Most of the time, I agree. Yeah. What's the best part of doing what you do?
Oh, I just feel so aligned. You know what I mean? And when you asked me back at the beginning, you know, what inspired me, and I said it was Madonna, and you know, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. But for me, it was, I always felt innately that this is what I was supposed to do and who I was. And it wasn't until I led a lot of different lives and went down a lot of different life paths thinking what's right. And I felt really good about the things that I was doing, but I never really felt like I was my true self. And once I did that and I honored that part of myself that needed to do that, I just felt so aligned. So it's a gift to be able to feel like I know what I'm doing and I'm not screwing that up. Like that's one thing I know. And, you know, it's the child version of myself that I'm doing this for, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it makes me feel good to tell her that
we did it. Look where we are. We did it.
We did it. It's us. That was us at State Fair. We did it, you know?
Yay! And Bobby would say, so big.
Yeah.
And then he would say something else that I can't say on it. That's funny. So I think we're just gonna. I appreciate you sticking around for so long.
Sure, of course.
And he never did get back to me, so I don't know if I should reschedule him. I hope it wasn't something terrible. You know,
yeah.
Maybe he was asleep or something came up. I hope it wasn't anything bad. I'm kind of worried because he was kind of excited for it, but
yeah.
And then next week I've got Soko Joe, a DJ from a local radio station, WRLN, 105 or 105.3. He does a Soko Saturdays, and every Saturday he's got like a 4-hour block, and his second song is always a little Bobby song.
Aw.
And it was before that too. Well, sometimes it was not the first song, but he now told me after Bobby's passing that he was going to go ahead and keep that slot for little Bobby songs, number 2. And I was like, the number 2 slot. Well, that's appropriate because one of his favorite words to say was poop. That's number 2. Yep, that's fitting. And then after him, I've got Pierre Lewis. With the Lewis, he was with the Lewis Connection, and he went to school with this guy, and there was this album that he got this guy to play on, and I guess a couple years ago somebody found a copy of this album and was selling it for like $3,000. Do you know who the guy was that he went to school with? It was Prince.
God, don't we all miss Prince?
Right?
So
that's crazy. The only guy that could wear heels, stockings, earrings, and makeup and still steal your woman.
Steal your girl. And then steal your girl.
Oh, funny. But we still got the bar going. The kids are running the bar now. His oldest daughter was the next of kin. And she's doing a really great job. I mean, she's a little powerhouse. Like this girl, she's amazing. Her name's Catherine. And her and her boyfriend have been running the bar. He cooks, she bartends. I mean, they're still doing the events.
It's great.
You know, still doing Huli Hog Fest. This next weekend is Huli Hog Fest. We're going to have all kinds of jam sessions. We're probably going to have Elvis. The tribute artist Sean Wallen does a tribute show, an Elvis tribute show. There's going to be a cornhole tournament. I believe that's at 1 o'clock. Is sign up on Saturday, and the bags are thrown at 2. There's going to be breakfast every morning. Music all day from Friday to Monday. I mean, it's going to be a blast. But I think I'm going to let you go. I got a couple more plugs to do. And I'm just so proud of you and your music. And you you are just an amazing artist, and I'm privileged to know you. That's
same.
That's one of my greatest. So knowing Bobby, well, for 30 years, but these last 3 years, I have met so many amazing, talented, wonderful human beings, and I'm just so glad I got to spend that time with him and got to know all these great people, and we're keeping the music alive, like we're doing the podcast and the newsletter, and we still got the merch site open, still selling his music. And like I said, we're going to try and put out another DVD and another album. So
You should do. I would buy a little Bobby t-shirt. I looked.
They're making some for this weekend.
Okay.
So
well, maybe I'll check and see because
yeah.
I would definitely want one. Yeah.
Okay. I think they're $30. I think she takes PayPal. I think we can throw one up on the merch site and
awesome.
throw them up on the, yeah. But I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for being here, Kelli.
Thanks for having me.
Well, of course. Thanks for showing up. That's awesome. So then we've got this show I'm doing tomorrow is Renegade Radio. I am back co-hosting Renegade Radio tomorrow night. Our guest is Michael Torin. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. He's a Back to the Future historian, and you know this party show we do. It's pop culture, and it's the party show, and we're kind of nerdy over there, and we love like Back to the Future and Beetlejuice and stuff like that. So tune in at 5 p.m. tomorrow at Renegade Radio and watch us live, comment, and ask questions. And I know who the viewers are going to be. We've got some really great viewers over there that follow the show. And I'm going to tell you one more time. Well, this is the way I found this out. So we did the 1 year anniversary show in studio at Grand Forks Best Stores of Renegade Radio. And we sat in that studio and they're like, you know, you can have your podcast on our channel. And I said, what? So then I learned a bunch about them and they gave me a thing and they've got some really great packages. The Grand Forks Best Stores are a cutting edge local media broadcasting studio. Captivating shows, on-location event coverage, unparalleled advertising opportunities. They've become a haven for podcasters like me seeking to bring their visions alive. If you're a podcaster looking for a studio or a platform, or you're a local business seeking to advertise your business itself or events, they've got great packages over there. Just email Paul at local@gfbestsource.com. You can call him at 701-740-9337, or you can go to their website. It's listed on your screen there, gfbestsource.com. Tell them Momma T sent you. So I think we're going to wrap up the show for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate all you viewers. You guys are awesome. Thank you to my guests that showed up. That was great. I hope my guy Keyez is all right. I hope there was nothing serious going on. And keep on keeping on.